Warning before we start this review, I hate this fucking show. Yo, what is up, Crockxen clan members, anime fans, and others who stump on this video? I'm SoresanCrockxen here with another anime time. Today's topic, Wolf's Rain. Let me be real with you guys, it wasn't a fun show. I really didn't like it. It took me forever to finish it, and it was only 30 episodes. Like, it literally was the reason why I went a lot of time without watching anime, because, like, if you guys remember, I watch animes in cycles of 4 to 5 shows, and the fact that I would always have to come back to this one was a real, like, pain in the ass, and, like, I really didn't like it. I really despise this show. I'm going to try to be as objective as possible, but I didn't like it at all, so get ready. Alright, so I want to address something real quick with the story here, because to me, the story was all over the place. This show has so many holes, and it's so bad at explaining what it's doing that you get lost a lot of the times. The main premise is that you have these 4 wolf kids who end up meeting a half-wolf chick, and they find what is a flower chick, well, a girl who was created to be a flower, and they're trying to get to paradise because the world is ending because humans suck and it's going to freeze over and blah, blah, blah. That is the main plot line of this show. The problem is they kind of sprinkle it in here and there. Like, you're always hearing them, oh, we're going to paradise, we're going to paradise. But the main conflict that happens is around Cheza, who is the flower. She's the biggest conflict because there's a lot of people that are trying to get to her. And then the other problem is because the main characters are supposed to be wolves, we do see them in and this is gonna bring up a huge, like, I honestly don't know if I can structure my review the way I have been in the past because there's a really complicated thing. Like, I think I'm just gonna skip the anime and music portion of it because first of all, I hated the visuals and the music. There you go. That's my thing for it. I want to go into full-on detail of this whole fucking plotline. So if you want to skip spoilers, then skip right here, and then you'll get to the character section where I go full in depth with all these characters and all that stuff. And I will not do a final section maybe because this is weird, okay? So, you have been warned. Now, see, this is one of the biggest issues I have with this story, right? It is a huge world they're trying to build here, okay? You are going from place to place. There's a lot of cities that they go around visiting, including in the first city that they encounter. That is when the group first meets. That is the first time the 4 main characters meet with each other. And on top of that, you also meet the 5th character, who at this point is a dog, well, who has an owner, right? Okay, so I'm going to go with the names of the characters so that it's easier to follow. So Kiba, the leader. Sume, who technically was, I guess, my favorite of all the characters. Toboe, Hige, and Blue. Blue, but it's, say it as Blue. So those are the 5 dogs, or the 5 wolves of this show. They try to signal that wolves are these all magical, mystical beasts, which I understand, in some cultures, wolves are treated as gods or goddesses. You know, they're very spiritual beings. They have magical powers. They're mythical. All that jazz. Cool. The problem with this show and the way they structure it is that not only do they have this, mythical, like, ideal of what wolves are, right? They try to treat them like they're magical beings, but they still settle down in a realistic world, right? It's a very realistic world. This show takes itself so seriously that sometimes you just question why the fuck they even went with wolves in the first place. Because, and here's one of my biggest problems with the show, these wolf people can manipulate your vision to see them as human beings. They can talk. They can speak human language and make themselves appear to be human. But the problem with this is that they're still wolves. So when you have these certain interactions here and there, you start to question why the fuck they did this in the first place. Because they're doing human things, even though technically speaking, it is just a facade. It is literally like they're hypnotizing people to see them as people. It's an illusion, right? It's an illusion that they're people. So when they're doing things with their hands and doing all this other stuff, you're wondering how the hell are they doing that? Because in reality, They are actually just a wolf form. There's no human there to be doing these human actions. So the show itself has an internal conflict with how it's trying to treat these characters. And this happens throughout the whole show. And I'm being serious. For example, there's one spot in the beginning of the show where Sume, he is actually pretending to be a human, right? He's in a gang. And then they're trying to steal food from the Imperial, guards and the Imperial castle and stuff like that. They are running out of the building, and one of the members is almost falling down, right? Sume saves him with his hand, and what happens? It's his wolf fang biting the arm of this kid that is falling to his death. What the fuck? Okay, so that's the first time I'm like, okay, so this is how they're gonna treat it. They're not human beings. They forget the fact that they're humans, but then they do human things with other stuff, and I'm like, how the fuck are they doing this? If you just showed me that when he tried to save somebody with his human hand, he was legit biting this kid's arm off. You can't give me that, and then later on in the series tell me, oh yeah, they can grab things and do all this crazy shit with their hands and when in reality it's not really happening, right? And then another thing, I just really want to emphasize this. These are normal human beings, right? They're normal people, except for the royalty, like the high, like king and queen, what not king, Lord, like for example, there's this guy named Lord Darcia. I'm going to talk about him a lot in character section. I'm going to talk a lot about these characters, okay? I really want to go into full detail so you guys explain why I dislike this show so much. He is like half wolf, half person, right? And the way they explain it, right, this is why I said spoilers earlier, is that humans are created by wolves, or another thing, wolves become people, right? And they forget that they were wolves, so then they're officially human beings from that point forward. And they can breed and have kids and blah, 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 and they're people, right? He, as a character, discovered that he used to be a wolf, and for that reason, he became a wolf, right? So in the beginning, he's like half wolf, we just think he's a human with magical powers, but he's a wolf. And then they go from that to like, okay, so now wolves have magic powers, but your main cast has no powers besides the fact they can talk like humans and can make themselves look like humans via illusions, right? It is just, it's like I said, it's all over the place. And then the problem with the world building is that there's a lot of just like random gray areas where there's like nothing there, right? They're running from one place to the other. I get that the fact that they're supposed to be a long distance because this is a post-apocalyptic world. I get it. But the fact that you're trying to world build, you're making it really hard when a lot of the shit that you're doing is literally just barren land. There's even scenes where they're like in like hallucination territory. In the middle of fucking nowhere, but for some reason, even though they're in the middle of fucking nowhere, there's a tribe of like natives that's around there that live there for a little bit and move around. Like, dude, it's just poor. I'm sorry, it's just really poor world building. All right, so now I want to explain a little bit of Blue's plot line, right? Because the thing with Blue is she's a dog, but she's technically like a half wolf, half dog breed of animal, whatever. Her master, Hugh, he is an old cranky man because wolves killed his family and burned down his house and just killed everybody in his village. So he has a vendetta against wolves. This dog, Brew, he was his pet. She was his pet and his son's pet. So that's why he always kills her. And she also is there to help him like find and hunt wolves because she doesn't know she's a wolf. She doesn't know she's a wolf until she meets the gang and she meets Cheza, who then awakens her wolf blood, and then she now has the ability to illusion herself and camouflage herself as a human being. Right? Do you understand the problem with this? All of a sudden, you get your, I guess, memories of your wolves, and so now you have the magic ability to talk like everybody else, like nothing ever happened, and you have the ability to use your illusions to cover yourself as a person. That plotline was never, ever touched upon again. And from that moment on, she joins the gang. So she pretty much leaves her master to go with them, although she still worries about him. So it's like, it was a stupid reason. Why the fuck did you leave in the first place? And him, like, Hugh, okay, this is my problem with him, right? He has this vengeful vendetta against wolves, so he's been hunting them down. Like, that's literally his livelihood. He just hunts down wolves and kills them. because they are monsters and they're evil and they're gonna kill us all. So now his whole plotline is, wait, I gotta hunt these kids. So even though he knows for a fact they're not kids, it is ridiculous. Like, that is his only goal in life. And not only that, the wolves help him out, and he doesn't understand this. It's, oh my gosh, it's ridiculous. And then, like, he, I guess, kind of gets redeemed at the end, but, like, bruh, see, at that point, I honestly didn't give a fuck, right? And now I want to talk a little bit about Chesa, because Chesa was just annoying a lot of the times because she's a flower, right? So she's supposed to act like a flower. She speaks in the third person, which was really, I guess, interesting in the beginning, but then it got stupid over a course of time. She is like the target of all these like high lord people because she is the gate to paradise. The problem is only wolves can open paradise, which means a lot of these people are just losing their goddamn mind because they think they're going to find paradise by kidnapping this girl, when in reality, they can't even open the door to paradise, nor do they know where the fuck it is, because Chesa and the wolves are the only ones that have access to this place. We don't even get to see it, by the way. I mean, I'm going to go into detail on that later on, but hear me out. Chesa is literally the definition of a maiden who needs to be rescued, because that's literally the thing she does the most in the entire series. She gets kidnapped, the guys have to go save her, and then she gets kidnapped again, so I have to go out and try to save her. It was idiotic after a certain point, because it just felt like she was just being taken everywhere so that the gang knew where the fuck to go next. Because that's literally what happened. Every time she got kidnapped, they got one step closer to where they needed to go. So it's like, bruh. And on top of that, this is why I mentioned earlier the fact that they're wolves and not people. They carry her around. They literally carry her around. If you're a fucking wolf, you cannot be carrying a human being the way they were doing it. Because if your arms are supposed to be your mouth, are you using your mouth to like hold her or like what? Like, see, it's just, like I said, they can't explain their own logic. It really hurts the show when they do stuff like this. And because, and Cher, okay. Then Chesa has, not only does she have Lord Dacia and then Lord Jagara, who are like, or Lady Jagara, because she's a lady. These lords of castles trying to find her so they can open the door to paradise. You also have like the government of the first city they're in trying to track her down because she is a key factor in the research to try to save the world so it doesn't die over and blah blah blah. So you have Cher and Hubs. These are the two characters who were together once before. They were married. They couldn't have kids. They got separated because work and blah blah blah. Drama, right? Just stupid drama. I hated their plotline. Literally, it was a thing of Cher trying to get Chesa because she was the scientist in charge of the project. So she's trying to rescue Chesa from everybody else. And then Hubs literally just trying to get the love of his life back with him. And I was just like, oh my gosh, it was so idiotic. And like the stupid thing is, they ended up finding each other, right? They ended up finding each other. And for some reason, they think, oh, the world's ending. Let's get back together. So they actually do this whole lovey-dovey thing. And then they, like, see, I'm being serious. I hate Hubs. As a character, he was the stupidest thing that ever happened. I mean, a lot of the stuff in the show was stupid. But I really hated his character because a lot of his motivation with him was trying to find her, right? And when he finally found her, they should have just left, right? She just disappeared forever. But no. After that, he now has to find the boys because he needs to find the flower. What the fuck do you guys... The Cher already knows what the wolves are doing. I'm pretty sure she just did that to see if they can get into paradise. But by the way, you can't because paradise is for the wolves and then the flower chick to open the portal. Humans! Oh my gosh, I hate all of them. I legit hate every human character we come across. Lord Dacia is a fucking asshole most of the time because now, all of a sudden, he thinks he's a fucking wolf and he can do whatever the fuck he wants. Lady Jagara is a fucking moron. She built an entire fucking city that's literally draining people's energy just so she can build a fucking portal that'll open paradise that ends up failing completely and then she fucking dies. Oh my gosh! Can people be... See, this is I guess the only positive point about this show is the fact that humans suck and they were able to portray the fact that we all, as a species, are the worst thing that could happen to this fucking planet. Because I swear to God, they are the most obnoxious and stupid characters in this entire show. it got to the point where I just want everybody to fucking die, right? I just want everybody to fucking die. I haven't even got in touch with like all the fucking dogs because it's just fucking retarded. Sume, like I said earlier, was honestly the only one that I kind of give a fuck about, and it's because he was the most logical character for the most part. He understood that people just suck. He didn't trust nobody. He didn't like anybody because in reality, everybody's a fucking asshole. I get that. I'm still confused why he decided to join Kiba in this fucking quest to find paradise, but I guess there was some hope that he had. Hige, I wanted to smack his face every time he opened his fucking mouth because this dude is literally the bane of everybody's existence because he lies from the moment they meet. He's literally like half a traitor. Like he obviously doesn't understand that he's a traitor, but he's always constantly lying. He doesn't know what's up. He never talks to anybody. He's just there. Oh my god, he was so idiotic. I literally, like, he was the one I hated the most. Like him, I just wanted to like grab him and like break his. Oh my gosh, it was so bad. It was so bad. Like he, not only was he just a straight up liar for the most part, he actually belonged to Jagara at some point. Like he was actually like a lapdog because like he's the only one with a collar, but it has a trace. And like when they get to the city, they all get captured and kidnapped, or not kidnapped because they're dogs, but they all get tortured because of his fault because he let them there. And then Tallboy is like, for me, it's like mixed feelings. I don't like him because he's annoying. But, like, I understand why he's annoying, because he's a little, like, he's the youngest of all of them. So he's like an ignorant child. But at the same time, he is like the type of, he's the only one out of all of them that loves humans. Like, he was a pet for an old lady. He felt like, well, not fell in love, but he, I guess he wanted another owner, so it was this girl in one of the episodes that kind of, like, gave interest to him, so he's like, oh yeah, new owner and blah blah blah, and then she freaked out because he's a wolf and he killed a bird or some shit like that. I don't fucking remember exactly what happened, but he's like, all humans are awesome, and he wants to. There was at least, I remember, 3 occasions where he almost left the group to be with fucking humans and then regretted it afterwards and like chased after them. Bruh, choose a side or not. Like, gosh. And then Kiba was just, I don't know, like, Kiba was just I just didn't like him because obviously he's supposed to be like the leader type, but he's also the main character, so he's the only one that can open. We ended up finding out he's the only one that can open the portal with Cheza. So it's like, as soon as the shit started going downhill, I automatically knew. I was like, he's the only one who's gonna fucking make it. You know? And I was upset. I was legit upset about this whole shit because it was, he is that leader, but he's also that hard-headed guy, right? The one that doesn't think about anybody else, the one that's always like just barging in, doing whatever. Like, I guess like a typical Shonen Jump. But like, for fuck's sakes, like, he was just a moron a lot of the time. And like, he's always arguing with Sume, because obviously Sume is like the only one that actually thinks about consequences. And like, they're always butting heads, but then like made up and like, oh, let's go. Oh, oh my gosh. So then, okay. Here's how the whole show ends, right? People are dying left and right. There's a war going on, trying to get supplies and like make sure that they have food and water and like a place that doesn't freeze and it's not cold. Maybe try to get some firewood. You know, like, people. There's literally a war for supplies. Right, there's people literally killing each other there, and then you have the first city. We never even hear about it again, even though that was the main focus of a lot of the characters in there. All those bitches died. Like, the freaking, I don't even remember the name of the freaking king of that place. Like, and then you have Darcy, who's literally been stalking these people, and he's honestly, I'm actually surprised the fucker lived as long as he did, because when they get to the Jagara arc, when they get to that city, the dude gets poisoned. Like, he legit gets poisoned. And the fucker should have died. Like, straight up, that dude should have died not that long afterwards. Jagara's whole castle blew up because she tried to open the portal to paradise, even though she literally couldn't because it was a fake portal, because that wasn't the place where the freaking thing was, and she fucking died, and then, like, shit started going insane, so that whole city goes berserk because now people are now freaking out because their queen is there, and, like, they don't know what to do, and then the soldiers are like freaking out, and there's people killing each other, there's people stealing things, and oh my gosh, it's such a mess. It was like, guys, I'm being legit honest. This whole show turned into a fucking mess. Literally, the moment we left Darcia's castle, and after the shitstorm that happened there, it literally all went to hell. Like, straight up, because then everything was just chaos. Literally, nobody was trustworthy. People were making stupid things. People were destroying things. And there was a mess. Everywhere they went, no matter where they went, there was always something fucked up happening. Kiba gets kidnapped by fucking seaweed. Seaweed! Like, what the... Like, literally, it was literally like a dome of seaweed that, like, trapped him in and, like, made him hallucinate that he was in, like, the perfect world. In the middle of the fucking desert! How can you, like, where the fuck did this even happen? I don't understand why this show was just so ridiculous to the point where it became illogical when you're trying to be a realistic show. The fact that you're trying to center this world in a realistic setting and you have bullshit like this. What the fuck? And then it got even crazier, right? Like I said, it got even crazier, right? Hugh gets fucking shot. The dude is gonna fucking die. But no, he's gonna live still because Bru has to express her feelings. And so they're on a car. They actually like break into a car. All the dogs were separated, and Hige literally has like a fucking... I don't remember exactly what happened, but I think he got like stabbed in his fucking shoulder, and he's been bleeding this whole time. And then so they all get in the car, right? Everybody's there. Everybody. I mean, everybody from the group is there. Yeah. Kiba, Sume, Toboe, Hige, Bru, Hugh, Hubs, and Cheza. They're all in a fucking vehicle, right? It's one of these big war tanks type of thing. That has like barely any gas, but for some reason we're gonna take it all the way to where it needs to go. This is where it takes a turn for the worst. Remember how I said this is a realistic show? Right? This whole section breaks that entire mold, right? First of all, Hugh should have been dead by this point. The fucker literally had like a heart attack at one point. The fucker should have died. The car, right, ended up like, okay, so they're in ice. The thing starts breaking apart, and then they have to like spin, and the car turns, and everybody has to get out of the car, right? Kiba, Hisume, and Toboe are outside because they've been running this whole time, and then you had Hige, Bru, Hugh, and the humans in the vehicle, right? And Cheza, obviously, because she can't run, because she's a flower and she's delicate and she's dying right now. They all get out of the vehicle, right? Get out of the fucking vehicle. And then Cher gets stuck. The vehicle falls off a fucking cliff, slams into the ground, and I'm like, she's dead. And you can't use the car anymore. You're just gonna have to walk the rest of the way. No! I mean, Cher dies, right? They even gave her a fucking underwater funeral, but she still has enough time to speak to them. The bitch fell from like a fucking cliff to her death in a metal object of death, and she's still alive long enough to say something? Now that the fucking vehicle moves again. The worst part about it, like this is why it just upsets me so much. They all pushed, because the car was on its side. There's no fucking way in hell this thing is in working conditions. But no, because Hub starts pushing the truck, all the dogs are like, yeah, let's push the truck. And again, asking the question, if they're supposed to be wolves, how are they pushing the vehicle? But they managed to get it up, and it manages to work all over again, and they get out of there, and they keep driving, and then the car dies, and then they meet up, and then like they're in... Oh my gosh. This part right here made it even worse, right? Because Hugh ends up waking up, right? He ends up waking up from his apparent coma, or whatever the fuck he had. Everybody's fucking scarred and dying and shit. And he thinks, hey, I don't want to be around wolves even though I was just saved by them. And he leaves on his own. And this is after Bru and Toboe had a conversation about him watching out for him. Which was literally like foreshadowing, because then Toboe chases after him. Bru and Hugh or not Hugh, and Hige end up going away because Hige never planned to go with the guy because he doesn't feel the right to. Because he's a liar and a traitor and all this other bullshit. And because of that, Bruce's like, okay, I'll go with you wherever you decide to go. And then fucking Tomboy and Hugh fucking get shot to death. Hobbs disappears for a while. And then, oh my god, so it's just annoying. And like, literally, I was so glad that people started dying at this point. I literally said, so can we just blow all you guys up? Because the problem with this is, they got shot by Darcia, who came out of fucking nowhere, who now can control storms out of nowhere. And literally, but even though he has all this magic powers, decides that he needs to shoot these people. Oh my gosh. And then like, Hugh shoots a Tomboy with his fucking rifle, and then he gets shot by Darcia, and then he leaves, and then like everybody meets up again to try to see what the fuck happened, and they're both dead, and then Suma's like, I'll stay behind, and then they leave, and then Hubs falls off Hubs falls off a cliff, a mountain. They're climbing a mountain. The fucker falls, lives. Like, there's literally like a crater on the ground where he landed, and the fucker still has enough time to take out a cigar and put it in his mouth and get his wife's handkerchief and put it over his nose and take a big whiff because that's the last smell he needs in his life. And then Sume is over there because Tomboy is the one that saved him and blah blah blah. And then Darcia shows up again and like attacks everybody and then kidnaps Chesa again because that's all she needs to do. She just needs to get kidnapped so that everybody needs to go. And then Tomboy and Bru are dying, and then like Bru's the first one to die out of those guys. And then like Sume shows up and literally has to kill Hige because he's fucking dying and he doesn't want to torture himself, so he's like, kill me. And then they go up, and then Sume and Kiba fight Darcia, but then Sume gets hurt on his leg, and for some reason now he can't move on for some fucking reason. And then we get like this stupid dramatic fight between Kiba and Darcia, which wasn't even that dramatic because they all, both wolf forms, are literally just running at each other, and then we just have to pretend that we know that they're biting each other or clawing each other. That was the stupidest thing ever. I swear to God. And then like, Chesa and Kiba have a moment. Kiba's fucking dying. Darcia was already blown up to pieces because he wasn't allowed in paradise. And they're crying, and then the blood of Kiba, and then the liquid of the flower, and then the tears, and they mix, and then they open the door to paradise, and then Kiba, I guess, goes into the fucking door. But guess what? We get to see friggin', you know what we see at the end? Current time. Literally, what is going on right now. This is like current day. Fucking, like, how is this fucking paradise? And see, here's where they explain it. What happens is, right, this not that it's paradise, it's the fact that the world resets. What the fuck is this show? Like, straight up. Like, it is the most garbage thing I have ever seen in my... This is actually worse than Dragon Drive. I never thought I was gonna see a show worse than fucking Dragon Drive. I'm done. But I don't even want to talk about the characters, because all of them are ass. And I pretty much said what I needed to say about them. That's literally everybody. It's literally everybody that's even somewhat important in this story. And this whole thing is just a mess. There's just so many problems. There's like so many things that are like not explained completely. Or oversimplified that you just question everything. They're trying to build a realistic world, but still have stuff in there that shouldn't make sense in a realistic setting. Like people not dying from a fucking gunshot wound. Because even after Hugh got shot, he still had enough time, and like, so did Tomboy actually had enough time to like crawl to where he was and like lay with him, because he remembered, you know, he always wanted to be with humans, he always loved humans, and then Hugh was like, oh shit, you're the one that helped me and saved me that one time, because we gotta have a moment with you, fucker. Like literally just have to wait till fucking's dying, and then he realizes the wolves aren't bad. I don't know, there's just too many problems with this show. And I honestly do not recommend anybody watching it. Because the story, not only is the story just terrible, visually, it's not even that appealing. The show looks so fucking old. I don't even know when it was released. At this point, I honestly don't care to research that, because I'm already making the review, so it's not even worth my time. Visually, it looks jarring in certain scenes. there's a lot of animation problems when they try to do the whole fight stuff, because remember, they're supposed to be wolves, but then they're people. Oh, actually, now that I remembered that, I want to say, this is one of the most disgusting part of it. This is the problem with showing them as human kids. There's a scene where, I don't remember what episode it was, I think it was like episode 13 or something around there, where they find a dead carcass of an animal, right? And they fucking eat it in their human forms, but we're supposed to just be like, oh no, they're wolves, it's fine, they're eating a dead carcass. And then they fight a fucking narwhal, I think that's what it was, or a seal. No, it was a seal. It was a giant fucking seal. They're fighting this thing, and it's all full of blubber and shit, and then like, we see them as wolves eating this thing. But no, that other time, no, we needed to see them as humans eating this flesh and like ripping an animal's limbs off and shit. There's no unity. There's like literally, this show just feels like they didn't know which direction to go, because they had so many things that just didn't work, or maybe they did it one way one time, but then the next time they do it another way, and it clashes, because they're like, why the fuck did you make them two different ways? It was literally the same thing. Like that example I just gave you. Why the fuck is this happening? Why do you treat them like human kids, even though you showed us in the beginning of the show that they're just making illusions and that they're always wolves? They just happen to be seen as human people. Why do you later show me that they're acting just like humans would, or they're doing things that only humans would do? Like, bruh, pick and choose. Do not flip-flop, because it really ruins the illusion you're trying to portray. But anyways, that's going to be it. I'm done with this show. Finally, I can move on with my life and watch stuff that's actually competent and actually really good. And fuck this show. I seriously hate this show. I will leave a link to the website I was using to watch the episodes, just in case you're nuts enough to try to watch it. But I'm done. I will never once again talk about this unless I'm at like a top 10 worst animes I've ever seen in my life. That's the only way I'll do it. That's the only time I'll ever talk about it again. Because right now it is the most, like, I'm actually surprised I found a show I hate more than Dragon Drive. It is ridiculous. But yeah, done. It's a long video. I apologize. I'm not going to do characters because that's just going to make this video even longer. I'm not going to do any final episodes because literally I just talked to you about this whole thing. I should probably edit out the part. You know what? Fuck it. Whatever. It's fine. It's fine. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry that I had to like rage and all that stuff. I know a lot of people like it when I rage, and I just don't like shows like this. Damn! But we're done. That's gonna be it. See you guys later.